Hey everyone, this is Clossius, and today I'm going to be answering a questionnaire. So this questionnaire was going around on Facebook, and I was tagged to answer the questions, so let's go. Alright, the first question is, what is your current Go strength in Go? Alright, well my current Go strength is 4 Dan on KGS, and that is equivalent to 3 or 4 Dan European, I believe, and 5 or 6 Dan AGA. So that's my current level, but I've been kind of busy studying programming lately, so I don't know if that'll change anytime soon. However, that is my current level. Uh, Next question. How did you learn about the game of Go? Alright, so this is actually so we were asked to answer the questions in detail, so I guess I'll go through the steps that led me up to discovering Go. So in middle school, actually I was bullied quite a bit, so I was taken out of school and homeschooled by my mother. So while I was homeschooled, I had a lot of free time. So during the free time, I would try to surf the internet, find stuff to do, watch videos, and basically it became a hobby of mine to watch a lot of anime. I would watch anime series, and a little while after that I started watching a lot of, or reading a lot of manga. So while I was watching anime, I found the anime Hikaru no Go. And it looked interesting to try the game, and so I started learning while I was watching through the series, and my days kind of went where I would wake up, play some games, watch some Hikaru no Go, get inspired, play some more games, and then go to bed. This was after my schoolwork was done, obviously. And I think the reason I had so much time when I first started was because I started December 12th, 2006, I believe. So it's the end of 2006 or the start of 2007. And I was on Christmas break. So I got to pretty much invest a lot of time. So I didn't really have any friends or anywhere to go out and do stuff. So I pretty much just stayed at home all the time and just started playing a lot of Go. And that's basically how I learned about the game. Just I was homeschooled. I had a lot of free time. Started watching anime and stuff, and found Hikaru no Go, and it just took off from there. All right, what strength barriers were the hardest for you to surpass? Well, thinking back now, I wouldn't call some of the strength barriers because I skipped through them really quickly. So the first barrier would be 12Q, but I say barrier, but it wasn't really. When I was a double-digit Q, because I was investing so much time into this, I was playing around 20 games a day, and putting about 8 to 10 hours a day into this game because I had nothing else to do. So I was 12Q really fast. I think it took me about 2 weeks to get to 12Q, and then 12Q was the first barrier I hit, but I was only stuck at 12Q for 2 weeks. But at the time, I considered it a barrier because I hadn't been improving so fast, so I started thinking that that was regular. And when I hit 12Q, the fact that I got stuck at one rank for 2 weeks was actually a little bit surprising to me. I mean, if you improve like one rank every couple days, obviously when it takes you 2 weeks to improve a rank, you'll think of that as a barrier. But thinking back now, 2 weeks isn't much of a barrier. But I know other people get stuck at 12Q and stuff, so I would say that's a barrier for some people. The 12Q to 10Q range, and just getting that little bit of edge to single-digit Q. The first real barrier I ever hit that took a long time to get past was around 2Q. Well, before I get to that, the next barrier I hit was 4Q, and that one took me another few weeks, but when I got to 4Q, it actually went to Go Camp, and actually that pretty much just nailed the 4Q for me. So I got really lucky with the timing on that. Like as soon as I hit my next barrier, I went to Go Camp. I think that was in 2007 was my first Go Camp, near the end of 2007. And after Go Camp, I pretty quickly went up to 3Q, and then got to 2Q, and 2Q was my first real barrier. So it took me, let's see, Go Camp was about July, I believe, July, August, and I had started in December 12th, 2006. Well, technically I started 3 days before that, getting some little marbles and playing on a chessboard. So I guess technically that was a 9x9 board. And I played it with my family, just trying it out, and then I finally found a place to play it online. But I didn't even know anything besides capturing a stone, so I don't know if I really count that. But let's see, from December, so let's say half a month in December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, and then July is about half a month before I hit Go Camp near the end of July, and then a couple weeks in December. So let's say August and September. August or September is when I hit the 2Q barrier. I forget exactly what it was. I'd have to look it up. So that was about 9 months I got to 2Q. And then after hitting 2Q, I just hit a huge, huge barrier. And I think part of it was it's a natural barrier, but after I hit the barrier, it became a mental block. I got stuck at 2Q for like a year. 2Q, I think the biggest issue was, like I said, the mental block. It was the first real barrier I ever encountered, so because I was improving so fast, when I got to 2Q and I stopped improving, I got really upset. I got frustrated because I couldn't figure out why I stopped improving, because I was improving really fast, and at the time I didn't know this. At the time I thought it was common to improve so fast. But I found out other people have been playing this game for a year, maybe even a couple years, and several people have been playing it for 10 years, and they still never even got out of the double-digit Qs. And I had gotten to 2Q in like 9 or 10 months. So I didn't realize that I had improved so fast. So when I got to 2Q and hit that first barrier, and it took me a long time to get out of it, I got really frustrated. I didn't know why I couldn't improve. And at one point, I think it took like a 2-month break. I just stopped playing for like 2 months because I had been playing it like every day for the last 9 or 10 months. And then when it took me another year to improve, I think after I played for another 4 to 5 months, I pretty much took a 2-month break and stopped playing because I thought maybe I couldn't improve past this. I didn't know what was wrong, so I pretty much quit for a couple months and did some other stuff, watched anime, played games. When I came back, I was still stuck for a while, but then I came back, and I think that's when the 2Q is when I first developed what's called a ladder anxiety. It's pretty common in other games such as StarCraft or whatever. It's basically a fear of playing rated games because you fear losing and deranking and or your rank going down. And I still haven't completely recovered from that, actually. I still have a little bit of ladder anxiety every time I play a rated game. But yeah, 2Q was my first real barrier. After about around a year, I finally got to 1Q, and then 1 Dawn came shortly after that. And I think the next barrier after that was 2 Dawn. I don't know what it is about the 2s. 2Q and 2 Dawn helped me out for a long time. 2 Dawn, I got stuck out for another year, but in the Dawn ranks, getting stuck for 6 months to a year in the Dawn ranks is actually quite common. So, I think it was just me getting used to the Dawn stuff, the Dawn ranks. Yeah, so at 2 Dawn, it took me a while to get past that, and I actually went up to 3 Dawn several times and then fell back down. So I think it took me 4 times ranking up to 3 Dawn before I finally kept it. So like I would go up to 3 Dawn, and then I would win a game, lose a couple games, fall back down to 2 Dawn, go up to 3 Dawn, fall back down, and that happened about 4 times. And we pretty much called it the 2 Dawn curse for a while. And then finally I got to 3 Dawn, and then I worked my way up to 4 Dawn, and there was that. But after a while I just stopped playing, and then my rank slowly just fell back down to 2 Dawn, and I just never really put in the effort to get it back up. And I kind of just stopped playing rated games after that, and I started teaching and started college. And I think college was the really big thing. Once I hit like 2 Dawn, 3 Dawn, I had started college, And in college, it took up a lot of my time. So, and it basically, I couldn't move up in the dawn ranks as much as I wanted because college just ate up so much time, and I didn't study nearly as much. I stopped getting pro lessons, and so my rank ended up falling back to 2 dawn. It was there for a good while because I just never really invested the time to get it back up. I stopped studying and stuff, and then I finally got a job offer in Korea, and I went to Korea, as many people know, for like almost 6 months, like 5 months and a couple weeks, almost 6 months, and then I came back and got my account up to 4 dawn, and now I'm pretty steadily 3 dawn, 4 dawn. So I don't think I'll be going back to 2 dawn anytime soon. I might drop back to 3 dawn just because of lack of playing rated games. I've been focusing on teaching and programming and stuff like that because I'm a computer science major, so I've been studying a lot of programming languages, learning stuff. Um, but yeah, there's that. But that's where I'm at right now, and those are the barriers that I got stuck on. I think many people find the barriers about 12Q, 5Q, 4Q, 2Q, 1Q, and then 1 dawn, 2 dawn is the common barriers, I believe. And I think there's another barrier waiting for me at 5 dawn, but I haven't got there yet. But yeah, I think there's going to be another barrier about 5 dawn. That'll take a while. But yeah, those are the barriers I've encountered. All right. How did you overcome the barrier? Oh, I didn't answer that, did I? Perseverance, lessons. That's basically it. I kept playing. I didn't. Well, at 2Q, I did quit for like 2 months, but it's only 2 months. Sometimes taking a break is good. Sometimes take a break. Um, I think that's a good. I think that's a good thing. Sometimes you just need a break because sometimes you'll have created bad habits and you just can't stop playing those bad habits. And a break will actually get you out of those habits, and a break will actually give you some outside perspective, get some distance from it. And then when you come back, you'll start noticing, or you'll start playing a little bit better. I think after you take a break, you'll have gotten some distance from that solid mindset that you got yourself stuck in. That I have to play a certain way, and getting some distance actually will help some people. I think just take a couple weeks off, maybe a month. Um, I think no longer than a month though. I took 2 months, and even that was quite long. I think just take a month off if you need to. Do something else. Work on a different hobby. Like maybe you like drawing or something. I like programming, making games. Maybe you want to play some games. Play some games. That's fine too. Watch movies. Um, yeah, just work some other hobbies. Maybe like invest in some musical, artistic talents, some sports, something. I think some great advice my teacher gave me is go is a great passion, but you can't let go rule your life. You have to have other things besides just go in your life too. And for me, as a Go addict, that was always kind of hard to do. I always invested all my time into Go for like the longest time until I got to college, and then schoolwork took up most of my time. But I think that's some great advice actually. I think if you invest only all of your time into Go, especially if you're a Westerner, it's going to be really difficult to make a living at this, and eventually you're going to need a break. Um, I think it's really hard for people to have their mind stuck on one thing, because what happens when that thing fails? It's going to be really hard on you if you don't have a backup plan. And sort of, I'm coming up with my own ideas for life, I guess. Some good ideas is to have not just one really good hobby and passion that you're really passionate about that you want to be really good at, but have maybe 2 or 3. I wouldn't say more than 3 because it's going to be hard to get really good at stuff if it takes more than because it takes a lot of hours and a lot of time investment and a lot of practice and training to get good at one thing. Getting good at 2 or 3 things is actually going to take quite a bit of time. However, I think getting good at 2 or 3 things, 2 or 3 passions, is will make for a great individual. You'll have multiple skills, multiple outlets, And what I mean by this is that it doesn't have to be something that you can make a living with. It can be like a sport. Um, you can be passionate about a sport, maybe exercising. That's fine. For me, I like playing tennis, but I just don't have the resources or the, I guess, convenience of a location to just go play. I don't have anyone to play with, so I really wanted to get good at tennis, but I could never do that. I was doing that in college for a while, but I could never invest a lot of time. It's too much gas to go there. I didn't have anyone to play with besides my class. But after I got out of the class, I didn't have anything else. So I couldn't pursue tennis. Art, many people maybe like drawing or something. Take some time and invest some time to study that and improve on that. Musical talents, singing. I'll let you know now, I am a very, very bad singer. Very, very bad. But I absolutely love singing. And eventually, when I get a job and I get enough to support myself, I do want to get some singing lessons just to teach myself how to sing. Not to be good or anything, not to maybe make money with it, but I think I would like to sing at some point. And uh, other people might like singing, might like playing an instrument. You might like maybe writing books, drawing, artistic talents. But yeah, have multiple hobbies, multiple passions. Maybe hobby isn't a strong enough word. Multiple passions that you invest time and skill to improve in. Many people think that I have to invest a lot of time into this one thing. It's true. It takes a lot of time to get good at something. I think researchers research that it takes about 7 to 10 years of hardcore studying, about 8 to 10 hours a day, for 7 to 10 years to become a professional at something, like professionally good at something. And if you think about that, it sounds like a lot of time. But we live for, on average, 70 years. That means we can make about 7 hobbies in our lifetime and be very, very good at them, professional at them. But if you just invest your time to maybe focus on one main passion, and then when you need a break, okay, start studying the second passion or whatever. Maybe after like 5 or 6 years of studying that first passion, you don't have to stop playing it. Just maybe change your priorities or something, and get good at the second passion. And that's basically what I'm doing now. Is I've been studying Go for like almost I think about 7 years now, and I studied it pretty hardcore for like a long time, and I got to 4 down, which is actually I think is pretty good. And it's not where I want to stop at. I want to get to like 7 to 9 down at least. But now I'm focusing on computer science and programming, and that's pretty much my second passion right now. And then maybe 10 years down the road, I'll do something else. Maybe it's singing, maybe it's tennis, who knows. But I'll probably do something else later down the road. But yeah, just after several years, if you feel like that you're starting to become a little bit bored with it, or that you need a break or something like that, then just play it on the side. Like I still play it on the side, and I teach a lot. Like I'm trying to become a professional instructor, meaning make money, make like a part-time job teaching and stuff. And that's basically what I'm doing with Go right now. I mean, I still want to get stronger for sure, but I also need to be thinking about other things like a job and stuff. So I started pursuing computer science as well, and that's what I was doing in college. But yeah, kind of went on a little rant about that one, I guess. But yeah, the first thing about overcoming the barrier, take a break if you need it. The second thing is, if you can afford it, get lessons, get teaching names. Sometimes you need that outside perspective from a stronger player to let you know what you're doing wrong. Sometimes studying books and materials, sometimes improving your study habits in general, or changing them, could help you overcome that barrier. And you need to realize that you're stuck on a barrier because you're doing something wrong. The trick is figuring out what you're doing wrong and then stop doing it. Or maybe you're lacking a concept and you just don't know it. Well, how do you know it, or how do you figure these things out without a stronger player's perspective? So I think getting lessons, sometimes taking a break, and I think those two things will pretty much help you get out of that barrier. But also, you need to realize that it's going to take some time. You can't get frustrated if it doesn't happen overnight or within a couple weeks. Improving at this game takes a long time. So sometimes it'll take several months to get out of one rank. Just keep playing, keep studying, and keep investing the time. Take a break if you need to, and then come back and play for a couple more months. And eventually, you'll get out of that barrier. Just keep working at it. Don't give up. Persevere. All that good stuff. All right, who was your first Go teacher? When I first started, I had many friends giving me teaching games and stuff. Like I had my local Go club. I had my friends on KGS. But my first real teacher that paid lessons for was Jenny Shen. And still to this day, she's my favorite teacher. She's just taught me for so many years now. We still talk every now and then, and yeah, she's basically still my favorite teacher. I always recommend her for lessons to people, just because I'm her student, and I consider her like my main teacher. She was the one who helped me for several years. She gave me several lessons over the years, and so still to this day, she was my first real teacher that I spent a lot of time studying with, and she taught me for many, many years. And so I'm still friends with her even now. I don't get lessons from her anymore right now. I think I might sometime in the future, but right now I've got other priorities like getting a job, finishing school, and all that stuff. But yeah, she was my first teacher and still is by far my favorite teacher to this day. I know many other teachers though, like for example, Desan, Patosai, Shy Ghost, many teachers in Korea, many professional players who are friends of mine. But yeah, I know many, many people, and I know a lot of great teachers. But yeah, Ginny was my first, and still is my favorite for now. Well, I say for now. It's not going to change. But yeah. All right. What books helped you out the most, or what is your favorite Go book? I'll answer both of that because it's actually not quite the same. The books that helped me out the most, probably the Elementary Go series, because that's the book that helped me learn the basics, and I'm always teaching my students and teaching players on KGS the basics, and the Elementary Go series really helped me learn the basics when I was getting started, and just helped me build those good habits right from the start. So I think if you're a double-digit Q, I think the Elementary Go series is great. The Get Strong series I hear is also good. That's just I didn't find that one at the time, so. But I think the Elementary Go series and the Get Strong series are both really good series to help you build the foundation that you need to improve at this game. What's the other one? The Fundamentals of Go is also another really good one. That's really, really good for increasing your basics and your fundamentals. It's a really good book. I recommend that to like all players that are trying to improve. The Fundamentals of Go is pretty much a fundamental book that I think all levels need. My favorite book is the Shusaku, Hunimbu Shusaku's, the big book about his castle games, his life story. I just like that book because, I mean, I started this game because of Hikaru no Go, and of course in that has Sai, which is based off of Hunimbu Shusaku. So I know Go Seiken's probably considered more of a genius than he is, but I started out thinking Shusaku was the greatest. I mean, anime will do that to you. But I got that book, and that's still my favorite book. It has his life story. I actually wish they did this for Go Seiken too. His life story, his games throughout the years, as he improved and stuff, and then leading up to his castle games. It has the ear-reddening move, and it's a nice book that shows you the style that was played back then. It shows you his life, the game records of his life. Not all of them, of course, but and it has a lot of great commentary and a lot of backstory with it. And I really like that book, so it's probably my favorite book. I would like one for like Go Seiken as well, something similar. All right, which online Go servers do you like the most or play on the most? Let's see. The online Go servers I like the most would be the Caseta Go server, KGS. The reason for that is I know there are other servers that you can get stronger games on. The rating system on KGS is a little annoying, and sometimes it's hard to find a game. However, the teaching features of KGS, that's what really makes me stay. Because being a teacher and the easy it is to contact people, to talk to people, and to teach on KGS is pretty much what keeps me there. It's a really great feature. I can use a mic to talk to people, even if they don't have a mic, they can't talk back, they can just type. It has a lot of tools to edit the SGF board, or the Go board. It's easy to find people's games. They have a bunch of chat rooms so you can make friends. It has a nice community. And many other servers lack that. You can get on like Taijom and World Baduk and Go Panda and stuff, and you can get games much faster. But that's all it is. It's just you playing games. And if you want to play games and you want to play competitive people, then yeah, sure, get on those servers. However, KGS has the rooms to talk to people and interact with people and build a community. And the teaching features on there are top notch. I haven't found another server that can replace that. But yeah, that's my favorite server. What do you think is your main strength in Go? For example, do you excel at direction, counting, fighting, or territory? My main strength in Go is pretty much the basics. I, as a teacher, have been studying the basics for a while and have been trying to drill it into me. What are the basics? How do you approach a situation if you're unsure about it? Don't just go by instincts. Yeah, my instincts are pretty good for sure. I have like Don level instincts, and which is, of course is going to be better than a single digit Q player. But I found many times a student of mine or someone I'm teaching will ask me, why did I play this move? And to me, it's just like, well, it's the best move. Well, why is it the best move? Honestly, I'm not sure. It just leads to the best result. It gives me a lot of territory. So I started asking myself, why are these moves being played? What's the purpose of this? And I started learning the basics and starting creating a lot of questions. Like, for example, I always teach my students, until you get to a certain level, these will work like 80–90% of the time. Where's my weak groups? And I probably should do something to fix it. And there's several steps you can go into that. How to fix it. You can fix it in Sente, you can fix it in Gote, you can fix it just enough so you can get Sente and Tanuki. There's several ways to go about doing it. However, you should think about your weakness first and notice those first. Then there's where's my opponent's weakness? That's the second question you ask, and then you should try and take advantage of that in some way. Sometimes you can even combine the first question and the second question. You can take advantage of their weakness while fixing your own weakness. So there's several ways you can do it, but the basics, the foundation that I tell them is first fix your weak groups, then you can start attacking weakness, and then after all the weakness is gone, you can go play some big move or something. But those are usually the steps of how to play or how to find a move. You just go through those 3 steps, and then each one branches out into different steps and different ideas. How do you determine what is weak? How do you attack a weak group? How do you save a weak group? Can you combine any of the steps? And then eventually you'll just get to the point where you need to know all 3, the answers to all 3 questions, and then find the best way to play on the board. But the basics, the foundation is to know those questions and to answer those questions, and you pretty much 89% of the time will defend yourself before you Tanuki to go play big move, and your opponent should defend themselves, so you can usually punish them and gain enough profit. With practice, you'll know how to do that. And punish them and get enough profit to make it more valuable than the big move. And then if you can do it in Sente, you can get that profit as well as the big move, and it'll be pretty valuable. But yeah, the basics, that's what I say my strength is. And counting. Many players, many Westerners, many amateur players do not count nearly enough. And I cannot emphasize this enough. Counting is by far, I think, one of the most important aspects of the game. And I practice this so much, and to practice what I preach. I mean, I'm telling many people you need to count. You need to understand who's winning, who's losing. How can you find a move if you don't know if you should invade or reduce or build or something? How do you find where the biggest move is? How do you know how valuable a move is if you're not counting, if you're not understanding what you're getting and what you're losing, the scale of the points, who's getting what, who has more at the end of a variation? To me, counting is probably... I think everything is important in this game. Everything is by far important. But counting is severely underrated, I think, in the Western community. And I know in the Asian community, they emphasize counting a lot as well. But the Western community, I think counting is really underrated. And I just did a video, actually, recently on how to count territory. And many people said they liked it, and it's been getting shared. So I'm pretty happy about that. But counting in general, I think is severely underrated in the Western community. I think counting is probably one of my strengths that I have over many Westerners. Is I can pull out that last little bit of points. I could probably get about 5 or 10 points more than someone that's equal level with me, just because I can count more accurately and more efficiently than they can. So I think I'm probably 5 or 10 points stronger than what my instincts are because I'm counting. So I can pull out that last little bit that I need to win some games because I can count. So yeah, basics and counting I think are my two strengths. All right, is there a specific game of Go that you played that you remember the most? If so, what happened in the game? That's a difficult question. Any one game? I don't think I have any single game that is like really specific. I have several games that like I can remember just because they were interesting. For example, a few years ago, we have what we call the September tournament, North Carolina tournament. Being in Tennessee, the North Carolina tournament is something we go to every year. And a couple years ago, I nearly beat the 7-Dan who's won for many, many years in a row. And we were playing in a game, and I think it was either even with no Comey or it was just even. And I was completely outmatched. I was only 3 or 4 Dan at the time. I entered as a 3 or 4 Dan, and he's a 7-Dan. So there's no way I should be able to beat him in an even game. But I actually pulled out ahead for quite a bit, and I was in a winning position. I was really, really happy with myself. I performed way above what I expected, and then I hit the Bioyomi and just fell apart. So I had lost one position just because I fell apart in Bioyomi. I didn't know how to handle it, which thankfully, thanks to Korea, I've learned some methods to deal with Bioyomi. And I think I can perform much better in Bioyomi now, but to recreate a position where I'm winning before getting into Bioyomi is going to be quite difficult. So we'll see in the next few years, maybe I can do something. But that was probably one of the interesting games. Was I almost beat someone several ranks stronger than me in a tournament, and stuff like that, I guess, just leaves impacts, even if they're not the most masterful of games. It's just the games like that, they're the ones that leave impact with you, where you perform way above your normal level. You do great, especially in competition. In competition, I think it's the biggest impact. It pulls out the greatest of your skill, makes you perform above the norm. So, yeah, I think competition's great. Probably my favorite aspect is competing and performing above what I normally do. Just pulling up that last little bit I needed. And unfortunately, I lost, but it was one of the games that left a big impact with me. And I have probably several games like that, but any one specific game, I don't think so. It's kind of a difficult question to answer, I guess. Alright, so let's move on. What do you love most about Go? Ooh. The competitiveness, the fact that it takes skill and mastery rather than luck. I think there's almost no luck in this game. Even people who say that, oh, it's lucky your opponent's self-retarded or something, well, that in itself is a type of skill, your ability to focus and deal with the stress of the game. Like, I know people say even top professionals are self-retarded. Well, think of how much stress they're under. You think they would self-retardate normally? No, of course not. However, once you get under that much stress, once you're fighting that I guess that thought that I can't miss any sequence. I have to read everything. I have to understand everything that's happening on this board, and making sure you don't miss that one little sequence for your opponent to make a comeback or your opponent to get that extra point that they need. And sometimes you'll read too much and you'll start picturing stones where they're not, and then that's how self-retardation happens. That is another skill. Keeping your mind calm and keeping your mind focused and reading accurately is another skill in this game. You can be playing for several hours, but if you don't have the stamina to last that long, then sometimes you'll just make a mistake. And people might say that's lucky because you normally wouldn't make the mistake. Well, you got to think the stress of the game is what caused you to make the mistake, not your own skill, not your lack of skill. It's just your stamina wore you out, and then you started making mistakes. You lost focus. So I say your stamina, your ability to retain focus throughout the entire game, that's another skill. And the fact that this game requires so many different skills, not just on the go board, but self-control as well, your ability to focus, keep yourself calm, even under pressure, and which happens the most in competition. I think it's probably my favorite aspect of the game is competing and and pulling out that victory and stuff. So yeah, that's probably my favorite aspect of the game is the competition. Who would you like? Okay, so this is the last question. Who would you like to tag to answer this questionnaire? Ooh, who can I tag? I know Justin is already doing it, so I don't need to tag him, but I'll tag him just in case he decides to slack off. I'm tagging you. But Tosai or DY Arwen, I'd like to tag him. Who else do I want to tag? Anyone watching this video, I would like to tag you to make your own video, even as a response to this video or on your own channel or anywhere. Just get some videos on YouTube. This is how we advertise Go, is making videos, putting ourselves out there and stuff. This is how we build our Go community. We communicate through the social media and all that good stuff. Social media, word of mouth, and yeah. So yeah, just I'll tag you to answer these own questions. I'll put a link in the description below where these questions are. You guys can check that out. But yeah, I'll tag all of you. I like to tag D-San. He's a great guy. Good teacher on KGS. I would like to see if he would be willing to do this. Anyone else who's a YouTuber and streamer, yeah, I tag all of you guys to do this and make videos and share this and tag other people as well. Yeah. Anything else? So I guess I'll leave you guys off with some advice on how to play this game. Enjoy it. Remember, it's not about reaching a certain level. I want to emphasize this. No matter how much you study, no matter how much you train, no matter how much effort you put in this game, there will always be another level you can reach. So rather than aiming to reach a certain level, your goal should be to invest the time to improve, but enjoy improving for the sake of improving, because you're always going to be improving in this game. There's no stop to it. Rather than stressing out because you're not at a certain level, look at how far you've come. Look at what level you're at. Yeah, I mean, other people have gotten further, maybe faster than you have. People have been playing less time, they're stronger than you. But there's also people who've been playing many more years than you have and are much weaker than you. So it goes both ways. Don't think about just where you're going. Think about how much you've improved, how far you've gotten, and think about the friends you've made, the community you've made, and just remember that it's about enjoying the improvement, enjoying the connections you make, the friends you make, enjoying playing the game for the sake of playing. It's not just about reaching the 9-dan or professional level, because we'll never ever stop improving. Many of us, I think 99.9% of us, will never reach the top level player, and I think 98% of us will never be pro. However, it's just enjoying the path that we're walking. Don't just keep looking at the destination that you're trying to get to. Also enjoy the path that you're walking along, and look around, look behind. Remember everything. Remember the experiences. Enjoy the experiences you're having now, and just don't forget that to enjoy the climb up the rank mountain, I guess. Enjoying the effort that you're putting in, enjoying the work, because that's basically what it's about. Just enjoying the path that you're walking. Yeah, so I'll leave you with that, and hopefully many of you guys will make videos too, and I look forward to seeing those. And yeah, I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye. Happy Go Games. Happy holidays.